Well, folks, welcome to the seventh touchdown of the Wealth Transfer Initiative. Today, we're here with Marco Zubieta from Bolivia and Lauren Mignon from the outskirts of Paris in French. So it's going to be nice to onboard you guys to talk about the Wealth Transfer Initiative. But not only, it's going to be even nicer to hear about how you folks are related to the peer-to-peer movement and the regenerative movement. So very nice, Lauren, you accept in very short notice the invitation. And Marco, always a pleasure, my friend, to have you here, right? So always a pleasure to have you on whatever initiative that we're trying to make it happen. So let's start this. Well, why we're calling this wealth transfer and this initiative wealth transfer? Well, it's very simple. The way that we understand the generation of wealth nowadays, even with the pandemic, it's still related to the 20th century. It's still related to the modern world, to that view of the modern world, how to understand wealth, generational wealth. Is related to extract, not to interact, not to symbiosis, not to make a symbiotic movement towards nature. So it's still very, very industrial. It's still very extractive. It's still very individualistic, and it's still very hyper-consumerist. So we need to have a type of blueprint, a type of matrix of how to re-understand the generation of wealth for this third decade of the 21st century. And there's a lot of folks that are resonating with this. There's not really a lot of folks. And I'm talking, Lauren and Marco, of folks of all walks of life, right? From indigenous people to Aboriginal people to everyone that you can even think about. So we have in this gathering here, this weekly gathering, even folks that are related to the impact investor realm. So folks coming from Europe, folks coming from Canada, folks coming from States, folks coming from Africa, folks coming from Asia. So we have a lot of them here, Brazil, of course, and now South America, abroad with Marco from Bolivia. So this is why we're making this gathering, but not only to talk about this, but to make it happen too. This initiative is not only a conversational type of one. We're trying to make synergies between all the walks and the talks. So we're trying to have some clarity, some convergence between what Marco is doing in Bolivia, from Bolivia to the planet, and what Lauren is doing from the outskirts of Paris to the planet, and so on, so on, so on. So this is what about, okay? This is about convergence between the regen and the peer-to-peer movement worldwide, right? And there's still a lot of people that are coming on board, and it's a pleasure to have you guys here, right? Really a pleasure. Well, in that sense, if Lauren, if Marco allows me, I will ask Lauren to start, to contextualize a little bit about her work in Kikolab, and of course, after we're going to hear about Marco and his work. So Lauren, please be very welcome.
Oh, it's so nice to be here. I'm so glad you invited me. Yeah, so Kikolab is a collective intelligence collaboratory, and we see ourselves as a new kind of laboratory that does not have walls, but that connects open data repositories from different groups. So we're trying to make connections and form ambassadorships with different groups around the world to see what they're creating, and to form relationships, and then to try to see how we can better share that knowledge and data through human connections. Yeah, so we we're an incubator for ideas, and we are trying to be a collective intelligence incubator for businesses as well. So that's where we're heading.
It
That's
Yeah,
appears,
so Marco, yes, my friend, forgive me.
your words are so familiar to me that it is all what I said last 5 years, the same words that you say. It is exactly the same mission.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, we are working for open science. We are working for open knowledge, and of course, it is not an academic approach. It is most more approaching the possibility to make stuff, to make things, to create, you know, using digital fabrication tools, and that designs are shared for the people, and that designs is about the most pressing needs that people have. So we are talking about appropriate technology, but there is a combination in that approach. It is like low tech, but with a touch of high tech. Is some sort of hybrid technology, because we couldn't resign the high tech possibilities, because there is a lot of high tech technologies that are exponential, and that has a potential to benefit millions of people worldwide. So we couldn't resign to, you know, use that technology, and more if they are for free, they are open source. So we can you know, use that and to transfer that technology to the people that needs everywhere. No, there is no limits, there is no political boundaries, and then it needs to be totally easy to build, totally cheap to build, and totally universal.
I like that.
Please,
Yeah,
Marco.
what I don't
Marco.
want is to, you know, to talk a lot, because this format right now is more allowing a talk between us than a dissertation or a presentation, you know.
Yeah, please, let's make this a trialogue. Not a dialogue, a trialogue between our three. So
A trialogue.
yes, a
Okay.
trialogue. Let's go for it. So let's go for it. But Marco, what you just said is, I know you quite some time now, and it's more like you see, Laurie, this infrastructure thing being available for everyone in a common sense, talking with this superstructure thing in a conceptual layer, in a conceptual dimension that you guys that Kikolab is doing, right? Kikolab is doing. So it's very nice to understand that we need to reframe what we understand as super infrastructures in a networked way and superstructures in a very mindset way. So that's really nice to have both you guys here having this conversation, because this is crucial, right, Marco? This is crucial, not only to escalate, to expand, let's say, but to be more, let's say, tangible for people that are not resonating in this type of dimension and vibration that we're here right now. So it's very nice that both you guys are doing this work. So going to be, Lauren, could you just give us a little bit of taste of the work, how the work of Kikolab has been doing, just a little bit to understand how this is tangible for people, for folks at large? And I'll ask for Marco to do the same in the sequence. So
I mean, I think that's been our greatest challenge, and what I'm always trying to work on because we've been able to attract really brilliant kind of hardcore collective intelligence enthusiasts. But attracting kind of regular people has been our definite challenge. And so we actually have to do a lot of work to make our messaging more attractive to people outside of our bubble. And we do that all the time, and we have not succeeded like I would like, but we are always working on it. So we've written our website maybe 4 or 5 times to make it more understandable each time. And we'll keep on writing it again until we've achieved some kind of more universal language. And so, yeah, we have been able to make some progress so far, at least in English, with connecting people who are of vastly different ages and races, who live in different places around the world and who have very different brains and who work in different fields of interest. And so that's one thing that we've been able to accomplish, and we've been able to talk about some really, really hard issues and work through them and create kind of a seed crystal of what we're calling call-in culture, where we talk about hard things, and if there's conflict or if there's some unconscious behavior, we show empathy to people and welcome them to show empathy to others as well. So that's kind of the gist of our work.
Yeah, and it's a very peer-to-peer manner, right? And in that sense, it has this hyper local elements and the planetary one at the same time. So it's quite of a cosmo-local work that you're doing, or as I used to say, in a global realm, right? So you're creating, not only you, but all the folks that are related to Kikolab are creating this type of superstructure that whose main ambition is to create, I wouldn't say protocols, but ways of understanding and generating new meanings of our existence in the societies and the social worlds and the societies that we live in, right? And that folks can transition for another understanding of well-being in this planet. So this is very nice. This is very nice. And I know that is all related to the generation of wealth too. Am I tripping here, or that's it, Laurie?
No, it makes complete sense, and it allows me to, to elaborate from there. When you said
Go on.
we need new meanings, I could say that we need new words, we need to invent new words that has new meanings, because we are approaching a new time. We could see pandemics as a portal where we are in transition from a previous state to the next stage of humanity, right? So the pandemics is some sort of a portal, and then we couldn't, transit that to go back to the normal. The normal was totally empty of his meaning, because it is not normal to destroy the planet, So we're not going to go back to normal as usual, because we need another stage in our consciousness and in our lifestyles and everything. So we need to understand that this new stage of the humanity needs to renew completely words, new language, and new ways to express the complexity that is, emerging. Because what we have is not only a situation where people will be quite safe from the pandemics, but it will be in a hurry because it comes another catastrophes, another situation that comes from the climate change breakdown. So it is like we are in a training stage, and we need to be resilient enough to overcome the next stage and the next situations that is emerging. So that enable the context to talk about two words or two ideas. One is about symbiotic activation. That is a new, it's a new concept that we are working on. And the second one is about how this idea is related to our work as a Green Fab. Normally, Fab Labs, what we do as Fab Labs is to create stuff, so we make things, and those things are useful, but has very short life cycles. Okay, because it is inside a system that creates a lot of objects that is at the same time think it as a products that needs to be sell and sell and sell again. So there is a programmed obsolescence of it. So when we talk about to make things, we need to make things that are totally durable, that are that will have a life cycle very large, and that is totally friendly with nature. It is not something that will be finished as a waste that contaminates the planet. So if you continue to produce objects that will has very short life cycles, and then it will become waste, you are not doing anything that makes sense. So that is the second idea that I put on this table. The first one is about to make things, okay, make things that is very needed in these pandemic times. I will talk about what kind of technologies and objects I'm talking about. And the second is that those tech is not neutral. So it is something that we do for someone. And then that needs to make sense. So the next idea is make sense. And when we have a lot of people around the world making things that make sense, we're going to create an environment to make shifts, okay? And those shifts are the way of a big process of symbiotic activation, because what we want is to, approach a very large degenerative process with Earth and with nature. So that's it. That is the three ideas that comprises in this like umbrella idea, which is symbiotic activation. I mean, make things, make sense, and make shifts.
Yeah, that's nice. I don't think that a lot of you have the breath to just say some words.
We're not hearing.
We're not hearing you. You're not hearing you. You're muted.
Sorry. I love that. What is it? Make things, make sense, make shifts.
Sí, yes.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, it's nice to hear you. And, so on Monday, I'm trying to host a multilingual conference on the commons and peer-to-peer. And what I'm hoping is actually to create these new words and to discover when we're trying to do live sense making and translation, by getting people who can translate between 4 or 5 languages and start to see if there are trends, if there are words and concepts which don't have a direct translation into other languages. And those are like feelings like saudade that are important for us to maybe learn these words from others, to learn about new concepts. So I'm hoping that some of these will start to emerge, and that we can see kind of what's universal right now and what are new things that are emerging that we have to take note of. So I'm really interested in these new words and phrases and concepts. I think that's fascinating, and how we process this knowledge and collect it and transfer it between cultures and languages and different domains.
You're muted, Lauren. You just,
Oh, I know,
okay,
I
yeah,
muted myself. I was done.
yeah, okay, okay, okay. Wow, really nice, because you see, I'm just touching and sensing here, that the type of work that Marco is weaving, he's a very structural one, like a base one, to structure the first layer, the first layer of this new type of thinking and new type of doing, right? And you're trying, and the type of work, Lauren, that you're doing is to facilitate, is to encounter new meanings through language, through creating new types of not only words, but the meaning, not only the meaning behind the words, but what these words makes folks action, makes folks be activated, let's say, to, let's put this way, to make it, to make their movements in a different manner, in a different pattern, right? In a different pattern, so they can explore a new imaginary, new imaginaries, new ways to live with others, new ways to create wealth, right? New ways to share. And when I say new ways, I'm not saying brand new. It can be brand new, but I'm saying to, of course, understands that we already have in indigenous and aboriginal culture a lot of wisdom that we were just not connected with, right? As urban, let's say, earthlings, or this civilization that we still are in them, that is very disconnected, is cognitively disconnected with the wisdom of this aboriginal and indigenous tribes and folks and culture. And I say I see a lot of convergence in both movements. So, Marco, I don't know if Lauren will allow me, but feel free, man, to come with us if you can, of course, this next Monday, in this encounter, this gathering, this multilingual language, or let's say, encounter about the commons, about the peer-to-peer, in the sense that she just shared with us. Okay, and Laura just signaling that's okay for you to come. Well, it's going to be nice if you have, of course, my friend, the agenda to be there. It's Monday. Could you speak a little bit more about it, Lauren, to Marco get a better rap about it?
Yeah, sure. So Kikolab has a Monday, to us in Europe, it's evening meeting, and we discuss different topics every week, and coming up is commons and peer-to-peer. And it's our first truly multilingual session. So we're going to be doing it with breakout rooms in Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and French. And then try to do real-time sense making between these different rooms, and then directly afterwards. So I'm not exactly sure how to do real-time multilingual sense making, but we're going to be figuring it out, I guess, on the fly. Using whatever tool we can think of. And so we have been digging from, say, pedagogy to create peered meetings where each person takes on different technical and emotional roles in the meeting, and we make those explicit and visible. And we're trying to create new roles to create greater understanding between cultures. So roles that have to do with music and sound and indicating, when we're having a moment, not everyone can pick up on that. And so we're trying to have that indicated through sound and enhancing everything with visuals. So it's giving people more clues, trying to expand it through language, and so kind of innovating the way that we're talking to each other. That's it.
One question. What we are saying is that your meeting on Monday is about a real effort to translate on real time all the participation from different countries and language?
That's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
I'm not
And
sure.
then
I'm not sure
you're
how
saying
well we'll
that you don't
succeed,
have
but
exactly the way, the technical way to do so.
no, we're making it up as we go along. So, I mean, we've been, making innovations and sense making already, but now we're just making it multilingual. So that should add just a new hiccup in there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, Google has a new API that allows you to make translation on the fly. That is something that the end user could set in their browser and says, I want to receive this talk with subtitles in Spanish, let's say. So it is not a translation on the voice, but a translation on the subtitles. And I proved that feature, and it is working quite good. I think that it is on its early stage. It works a little bit. It's not perfect. And then I know a company that really make the multilingual on real time possible, but it is quite expensive. They have a fee for how many people, and then another fee for if you are a big group, or if you need translation from various language, etc. If you want, I could send you by mail the link of this company.
I would love that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's like there's so much software and it becomes so expensive. The more people you have on it and the more you do, it's just sometimes it's so prohibitive.
Yeah. We have like 15 countries right now where there is green fab seeds groups. It is like green fab in its early stages. But you know, we used to hang out with them. And of course, they come from French, they come from German, they come from Canada, etc., etc. So we need to approach a way to get the most of the participation, to you know, try to get a very authentic communication between them, to hear them and to make them hear us too, and a real communication. And it is not that easy. And because of that, we try to create some methodology about that, and it has a synchronic and asynchronic approach of it. And we are using a tool that is very interesting for planning in a way that is useful for everybody. I am putting the address on the chat. It is a website and a tool that is called Notion. So let me see.
Are you talking about the Notion platform, Marco?
Yes,
Marco?
exactly.
Notion.
Yeah.
I think Laurie knows it. Do you know Notion?
I do.
Laurie?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fantastic how. Yeah, it's just they are in the block about let's say 1 year at most. But they were in when they were in alpha stage. I had the pleasure to co-create some features for the Notion platform, and it's very nice to know that you are into Marco. But well, folks, let me say we're not top of the hour here. We're heading to the ending of this seventh touchdown here, and so far it's incredible how to see that already has some convergences here, doesn't it? So it's really nice, and I would love, Marco, for you to give a better sense and grasp for Lauren about the Green Fab Lab network, the GFLN, right? GFLN, Green Fab Lab network. What stage is it? This work that you're doing for this first layer of infrastructure for new meanings, to create new meanings, do new things, make new senses, for her to understand how we can start having a more fine-tuned synergy between her work and your work, my friend. So if you could give us a more open, a more wide, and a more in-depth, let's say, not a presentation, but just a context.
In the less words that is possible, in the more synthetic way that I could do that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It is Conca is joining us.
Hey, Conca, you're back again, man. What a pleasure.
Hola, buenos días. Bon dia. Good morning to everybody. Sorry for not attending from the beginning.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Encantada.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, man, because you're a multi type of human being,
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
good to be here also.
Yes.
Sorry, there's
Yes.
a lot of noise, so I'll be in the background. Okay, please continue.
Okay, Conca. So Marco, let's go, man. Let's make a little dive in the Green Fab Lab network world.
Yeah, what we want is that Green Fab Labs could be able to provide advice, workshops, and consultancy on different matters like habitat design, biomimicry, permaculture, circular economy, industrial ecology. As I told you, we are approaching also the core or the exponential technologies, in this case, like synthetic biology or artificial intelligence, blockchain, automation. We are focused on our core that is about digital fabrication and virtual information modeling. And yeah, it is a way to create distributed interdisciplinary and international teams that works by enabling a consortium for eco-innovation, for ecological innovation, right? For ecotech, sustainable technologies. It is also an alliance between different Green Fab Labs initiatives. Right now, the ones that grow so fast is in German, France, Canada, USA, Colombia, Brazil, and India. Of course, Bolivia. Right at this time, right now, we create an emergency response team operation tackling COVID-19 and environmental breakdown. It is a full team to deal with both of the situation and the way that those processes are interlinked, and there is a positive feedback between them that make it the situation even worse. Also, we are approaching an open source innovation ecosystem based in public and private alliances. And then in some ways, in some scenarios or countries, it is more viable than in others. For example, in my country, we have a very hostile government, so it's quite hard to make that kind of alliance. But maybe at another level, we could say that we could connect with regional bodies of government here that is not as hostile as the government, the central government of my country. Also, we are some sort of think tank that is focusing on deploy an open source symbiotic economy. We are going beyond the circular economy because in a nutshell, what we realize is that circular economy is not circular at all, first of all, and then circular economy is more about the source efficiency and to create an environment of more productivity, more wealth and more growth. So in short, it's all about more money. And there is nothing at all about to regenerate the planet as a whole. Maybe, yeah, it has some interesting features and interesting impact in the places that it is deploying and very well funding, like Europe, USA, or China. But there is a lot of money that was invested in a circular economy project. And if you do some research, you will realize that none of this money comes to the south, where there is the minerals, the rare minerals like coltan, for example, right, in Congo, that is used to make the iPhone, right? So what the circular economy didn't realize is that it needs to integrate the negative externalities. And that is very needed. And that's why we need a different paradigm. And we call this an open source symbiotic economy. We are also building a lean, flexible, and distributed manufacturing enterprise because we have nodes on different countries. So we have different technologies in each of these nodes. And then we could offer, a product that could be made partially on Bolivia and could be finished in Brazil, for example. That is the trend, flexible distributed manufacturing. And we want to be on that trend, okay? So the other very important trend is about artificial intelligence. So here we are talking about a digital multi-purpose platform where this digital platform is artificial intelligence powered. So for example, if we have a knowledge base, because we have a knowledge base about sustainability and our symbiotic approach, there is a need to have this resource updated in a way that is quite automatic. So we create a way of it. It is in its infancy. It is not, working as a charm. It is in its fairly early stages, but it is. We are working on it. So that's it. That is the whole picture, the big picture of the Green Fab idea. And how can I say that? In a way that is totally different to the approach of Fab Labs, conventional Fab Labs. Conventional Fab Labs is about the Fab Labs comes from very big universities like MIT, Princeton, Harvard, etc., where there is a lot of people that enjoy the Fab Labs because they has the possibility to pay a lot of money to be part of that exclusive universities. But what we think is that we need to create environments where those technologies need to be also with us in a way that is not exclusive but inclusive. So we are looking for empower people in a way, in a radical way, with tech, but with the tech that is needed in the particular situation in particular country. And of course, the emphasis on the environmental approach, which is something that is totally foundational to us, and that is what make that creates a difference. And we are learning all these symbiotic processes that could regenerate the planet, and researching how we could, using digital fabrication and high-tech technologies or high-low-tech technologies in order to accelerate, to restore or produce an alternative way, an hybrid way to symbiosis with those processes.
Well,
I think that's it.
That was not only putting the tip of the toe. That was literally a little deep dive in it, man. Well, that was very nice. Would you like to add something, Conca, or Lauren? Would you like to comment something?
Well, no, basically that. Also, we are very many professionals as a multidisciplinary network. As I told you the last week, I'm an agronomist. My expertise is in agroecology. So that's also the green part that we're adding. Forests, the conservation and restoring and regeneration of forests, and regeneration also of the productive conditions. So each Green Fab Lab will be also supported by the production of nature and the protection of nature also, other than the high-tech things. And they will make a hybrid, as Marco said. That's something that I can say.
Nice. Wow, I could go on an hour here to just to make some highlights all over around, Marco, what you just said and Conca add, but would be nice to hear if Lauren has some let's say reactions to all of this, and how do you envision, Lauren? Because you see, I think that when you're using music as a form, as a tool, right? To integrate perceptions and make meaning and make sense and make meaning, making things like Marco does is it creates lucidity too. Creates this is a type of dynamics that creates lucidity, another scale and another dimension of our apparatus sensory, our body apparatus sensory. So I would think that this fits very nice with the work that Kikolab has been doing, isn't it? Or I'm tripping here again.
No, it's true. It's very serendipitous, and I love to always figure out ways how to increase the serendipity and the magical connections between people. And you can do that scientifically. And I find that very interesting. And I would love to learn more about what you're doing. And it sounds just really outstanding.
You are saying that there is some, you have music as a very important key for your work, Lori?
I said magic. I said trying to find these magical links between people to increase the serendipity. That's the kind of magic that happens when you find something just at the right moment.
Okay.
That's something that you need.
Yeah,
and it just seems like yeah, I just feel from talking with you that we're on the cusp of some really amazing innovations and deep innovations that are going to be
or the real sense of innovation, right, Laurie? Because
yeah.
See, innovation is a word, is an old word, right?
Right. Yeah.
Already captured by the actual ethos of the society as we are. So when you talk about innovation, it's about progress, technology, and so. But this progress and technology is related to big corps, is related to patents, it's related to not an open source, open knowledge world. It's related to the hyper consumerist markets worldwide. Right. So when you talk about innovation in the sense that we know, the common sense that we know, it's not innovation really, it's not disruptive really, it just enhances the ways of our societies, the very extractive ways of our society. I don't know if you agree with this, but that's the way that I perceive it.
I would say that that's what's emerging from this conversation, and is that really the word that we need, the word or phrase that we need is something different from innovation, because a lot of times innovation signals some small change, and I think we need bigger, deeper change. And what's the word for that?
Okay, I could add some words of it to it, if you allow me. Okay. I mean,
Yes.
I
No,
mean,
no one is not allowing no one here. So go on.
we,
Go on,
we
man.
could go from frugal innovation to exponential innovation or technologies. So we have this whole, picture from frugal to exponential. And we are approaching a very hard times here. I'm in Bolivia. Because the pandemic is worse than ever. We have the most high peaks of deaths and everything, and the lowest numbers on vaccination. So with the economical crisis, you have the perfect storm. So we need to be we have a more bigger challenge to overcome. Because of that, we realize that it is not only about to make things that make sense. It's also how we could, do something that the government it is not doing. And the problem here is that people is so hypnotized with, the spectacle that is, showing across the media, and let's say the TV or let's say the internet, but we are approaching the crisis as a spectacle. And it is not a spectacle, it is reality. And what we are, need to realize is that we are losing our appreciation of life itself, the sacred appreciation of life itself. And people are quite, vaccinated in order to don't feel anymore. And we need to feel. We need to understand that it is not only a problem that reflect numbers on a screen. And the most disruptive thing that we could do now is to save lives. So when we talk about wealth transfer, we need to understand that wealth right now has different metrics. It's about to measure the amount of lives that you could be able to save and the amount of ecosystems that you could be able to restore, or the animals or biodiversity that you could be able to regenerate and to create environments that is, that enabling that flourishing of life. So we are in a challenge here. We call it Save 10,000 Lives Challenge, okay? And this challenge is about common sense. It is not about tech, but okay, includes tech, but it's more about common sense. And what we are doing is preventing people from dying for the wrong reasons. It's a matter to create a very small support network around the COVID patient. Okay, any COVID patient could call us and says, I need your help. And we're going to give him a medical for free, a telemedical for free, and we're going to give him logistics and transport for free, and maybe oxygen. We are dealing to, or we are organizing ourselves to give them food and to give them medicines, and it is working. And after that, there is a lot of things that we could do using social networks in order to create a collective wisdom from it and to find the better solutions for these situations. So we are connecting the dots on the social networks. There is someone that needs some kind of medicine. So all our team are looking for where is that medicines, where is they are selling, and we connect and we deliver the solution to the right person. So it is a very, very small amounts of actions or teeny actions, very teeny actions, but that make sense and that could make the difference in this situation. So that is what I want to say, that for this situation of COVID, we are talking about some technologies that cost like $20,000 just at the end of last year. And now we could build those technologies by 1,000 and a half each. So it is a big shift on it. And these machines will be able to help the first line health professionals that needs PPA protection equipment, but those equipments need to be reusable. Okay, so that is the problem. They have this equipment, but the problem is that once they use it, maybe they could use one more time, but then they couldn't be able to clean it up by heat because the material is quite fragile, and then it is not useful anymore. So we are solving that, and that is the range of the solution. It is an appropriate solution that costs $150,000. Meanwhile, the same solution costs $20,000 in the commercial market. Also, we are working on creating oxygen generators that is able to create a flow of 15 liters of oxygen at a price of $750, the construction of it. Instead, we are right now in my country, the oxygen generator for 5 liters is costly like $1,200. So that is a big difference. And similar to that, we have another 3 to 5 other technologies that we are trying to deploy and to make as big as possible. I mean, the impact and the replication.
Wow. Yes. Yes. Yes, man. What I love, the work that you do, Marco. It's very boots on the ground. See, it's roots related. It's with the harshness of this reality that we are all living with this worldwide pandemic, right? And that's really incredible because you're not dealing in a very you're not dealing in a way. You're already dealing in a transitional way. So it makes it even more relevant, the work that you're doing. So I would ask to Conca if he once more wants to add anything of just what Marco shared with us. And the sequence would be nice to hear Lauren for us to really go to the defining moments of this seventh touchdown of the wealth transfer initiative. So, Conca?
Well, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. Basically, I just wanted to add in this ambit of magic, we are dealing also with appropriate technology. It could be new technology, or it could be traditional technology. And in the middle of these traditional technologies, we also many times we have rituals related to the technology. That is also very important to preserve as a cultural aspect or cultural details. That's something that I would like to add. Magic that is come along with the new technology and traditional technology is also put in the scene. That's all.
I would like to share with you the most advanced technology ever. Could I do so?
Yeah,
Hello?
Marco. Yeah, Marco. It's going to be nice.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
going to share my screen.
Yes, please feel free. That's the most advanced technology ever seen in our species. Yeah.
Love you, friends.
Wow, that was incredible, man. As a touching final point here, and wow, that was incredible. Thanks for that. Really, thanks. I think we're all grateful for that. Well, that's really the most the most highly sophisticated technology ever coming from our species. No doubt about it. So I want to thank Lauren for just being here, uh, doing her walk in the outskirts of Paris. Was really nice, Lauren, to have you.
Oh my God,
And
I'm about to lose power, so I wanted to say goodbye before my phone cut off. Thank you so much for inviting me, Marco and Conca. Thank you so much. It was so nice to talk to you. I hope we talk again.
yeah,
So,
certainly,
Vinicius,
certainly.
thank you for the wonderful connections that you're making. It's really
Yes,
appreciated.
yes. The work that you do in Kikolab, worth it, man, worth it. As the work that Marco does in Green Fab Lab Network too with Ponca. Well, guys, it was a pleasure. The seventh touchdown was incredible as usual. I will share this touchdown with the others, and we can be together next week, next Friday. Okay, same time frame. As please, if you guys can come, it would be really nice. And Monday will be with you, Lauren. Monday now will be with you. I will share with Marco the timing for him in Cochabamba, Bolivia. I think it's going to be 15 p.m. 15 p.m. for you, Marco. The initial the starting time for this Commons and P2P lab. So Conca, if you can do there too,
Yeah,
it's going to be
it's okay.
nice.
It's okay for me too.
Yeah. So let's go, folks. Thanks a lot, and namaste.
Namaste. Well,
Namaste.
you know,
Yeah.
the music that I put on the shared screen is called Jerusalema, and we are going to use that as a symbiotic activator, you know,
Estoy en una
in
conferencia y
in our challenge to save
parte de
lives. So we are going to create the Jerusalem Challenge, where people from worldwide going to, you know, dance like that in a way to uh, transmit love, to, you know, share something that is beyond the technology and beyond the material realm. Okay, so I will have some information about this challenge next Monday, and I'm very happy to meet you guys. Lauren, very happy to meet you right now, and Vinicius, you know, it's like a year that we don't talk, and it was very needed. So thank you, friends, and you know, you're welcome in Bolivia anytime.
Yeah.
yeah.
Bye,
Okay.
my
Thank you
friend.
very much to all of
Ubuntu.
you.
Ubuntu. Ubuntu, Conca. Ubuntu,
Goodbye.
my friends. Ubuntu. Yes.